In this video, we are going to show you the top 5 best HDMI splitters 2024 on the market. I am trying to list those based on price, quality, and more. Subscribe now, hit that bell, and never miss a product's review. Number 5. Ori HDMI Splitter. Split the signal. The Ori UHDS102 is an HDMI splitter and is one of the simplest solutions if you want to share one signal with two monitors. Pretty handy when you want to display the presentation on two screens in a huge auditorium or playback sound on two complex audio systems in two separate rooms at once. It was designed to withstand intensive use, and overall it is a pretty reliable and durable unit. So let's check it out more closely. First things first, the device is surprisingly compact, measuring 2.5 by 2.5 by 1 inches. You won't have to sacrifice too much space onto the entertainment center for this splitter. Aesthetics-wise, the unit looks similar to most splitters. Its black housing won't necessarily stand out, but the company's blue logo looks pretty cool, somewhat elevating the device's appearance. Metal enclosure. Setting the appearance aside, the heavy-duty metal enclosure works wonders protecting the device's circuitry/components. At the same time, the enclosure facility aids heat absorption and dissipation, keeping the unit cool and making sure you don't have to worry about overheating the device. The Ori UHDS102 HDMI splitter has 3 HDMI slots and 1 slot for 5V AC power adapter that comes supplied with the package. The input and power supply ports are on the front side, while the 2 output ports are in the rear end. The cables are easy to connect and sit there pretty firmly, so you won't have to worry about accidentally grazing the cables and disconnecting them. You can connect the box to any HDMI 1.3B version device, such as most video game consoles, TV receivers, DVD or Blu-ray players, and others. Note that cable's length mustn't be more than 30 feet for the lossless signal. Number 4. Muzu 4K HDMI Splitter. More than enough, let's face it. While the ability to put up to 4 displays at the same time might seem and sound nice on paper, nobody really has such a number of potential screens at their disposal, nor is there ever any need or reason to project the same picture onto 4 different displays. Of course, if you're looking for a device for commercial use, going for as many different inputs and outputs as possible isn't necessarily a bad strategy, but what most splitters provide is a bit of an overkill for the absolute majority of households out there. The Muzu 433-016-5836 powered HDMI splitter, on the other hand, offers just about as much as your average household requires, in terms of performance and number of connectors, just as much as when it comes to compactness and quality. To start with, the model includes 1 input to connect a source of video and 2 outputs for 2 different displays to project the same image. Where most splitters might offer you a fairly useless ability to connect up to 4 displays to a single source of audio and video, the device in question provides just enough possibilities for a regular user to enjoy. Performance to match. As we have already mentioned, this HDMI output splitter comes with a single HDMI input and a couple of HDMI outputs. The former will allow you to connect virtually any source of video, ranging from a DVD player and a laptop to all of the latest versions of Xbox and PlayStation. The latter will grant you the possibility to split the same image onto 2 different displays, be it a huge Ultra HD flat screen TV, a tiny monitor, or a video projector. By the way, the model provides an HDMI version 1.4a, which has a better performance than lower versions, like the regular 1.4 or 1.3. With the help of the latter, you will be able to enjoy your favorite movies in Ultra HD 4K resolution on a couple of screens simultaneously. Number 3. Techol HDMI Splitter. Simplicity is good. The Techol HS35 is relatively basic. We're not saying that the switcher is bad though. All we're saying is that the product doesn't necessarily stand out compared to its direct competition. At the same time, in many ways, the switcher can tussle with its more expensive peers. The model's relatively basic build is its strength too. The switch is as easy to set up and operate as the next splitter. You won't have to fiddle with external power supply units. Connect the HDMI device to the switch and there you go, enjoy the show. You can swap the signal within 1 second by pressing the only available button. Meanwhile, the LED light tells you which port is active. The only issue here is that this LED indicator is relatively dim and can be hard to spot from a distance. The model comes equipped with 2 HDMI inputs and 1 output, meaning that you can split the screen between 2 video sources and switch from one source to the other whenever you want. Compact yet sturdy build. As far as the build/construction is concerned, the gadget is as sturdy, rugged, lightweight, and compact as they come. Measuring 1 by 0.5 by 2 inches, the switcher will fit pretty much any pocket, so you can always bring this thing with you to the office or anywhere you go. The model weighs 3 ounces, so, needless to say, you should be able to carry this massive monstrosity with relative ease. Incorporating solid aluminum alloy, the switcher is tough. You won't have to worry about the circuits inside the splitter as well as its housing. You'll be able to drop and pretty much do anything but stomp on the switcher. Number 2. Ori Ultra HD HDMI Splitter. Solid form factor. The Ori UHDS102 is as good as these splitters come. The price makes sense, the ports are abundant enough, and the specs are more than you'd expect from the price. Also, the device's form factor is nothing to complain about. Measuring 4 by 2.2 by 0.6 inches, the device is pretty compact and really slim, so you won't have to worry about this box imposing on that precious entertainment center space that you want to conserve. As far as the product's appearance is concerned, the device is neither lagging behind its direct competition nor speeding ahead. The box looks pretty streamlined but not necessarily as smooth and polished as its more expensive peers. The company's logo adds some character to the otherwise bland-looking device though, which's nice considering how forgettable these boxes usually look and how easily you can confuse them together. Duplicate video and audio. From the performance standpoint, the device does not disappoint. First and foremost, this HDMI splitter is able to stream Ultra HD 4K resolution at 60 Hz. You'll have no issues duplicating video and audio from one source to 2 HDMI displays at the same time. You'll also be able to do that without noticeable signal degradation. You won't be able to do more than 2 displays though because the device comes equipped with 2 HDMI outputs and 1 input. That's fine though. We've nothing against 2 ports because the price translates to the quantity and you rarely need more than that. The device's biggest downside is that when the connected screens do not support the same resolution, the splitter will lower the output resolution to the next best resolution that both displays support. Number 1. Zagg HDMI Splitter. Not just a dull box though. HDMI switches and splitters could certainly be described as some of the simpler pieces of information technology equipment or just as devices that serve a singular purpose. Every company behind them still has a particular philosophy that they try to adhere to and the one that clearly manifests itself in their products, especially if you're familiar with it and if you know where to look. And, quite frankly, we couldn't find a better example of that than Zagg, particularly their latest ZW141x4 HDMI splitter. While the majority of companies out there think of an HDMI splitter as something that should simply do its job, people at Zagg are the kind of experts that believe in going the extra mile, especially when it comes to the looks department. Where most manufacturers would present you with a dull and uninspiring box, Zagg offers an incredibly sleek and stylish device that doesn't just do its job but is also capable of serving as a compact yet noticeable futuristic addition to your interior. Practical as well as stylish naturally, while nobody would really mind having a sleek and stylish device over a dull and boring box, the design wouldn't be worth a dime if the looks were to come at the cost of practicality. Fortunately enough, this isn't the case here since the model doesn't just look the part but actually puts that futuristic architecture to good use. Unlike the majority of HDMI splitters out there that feature inputs and outputs either at the side of the device or on the front, the model in question displays status indicators at the front, putting all of the female outputs in an input port, along with the power supply connector, to the back of the product. This kind of disposition, in turn, makes it incredibly easy to track the displays that are currently in use.